Welcome to a landmark chapter in the chronicle of our brightest names. Welcome to your refuge for careful analysis and honest storytelling, Whispers of Turkish Stars. As the calendar edges into 2026 and the city outside roars with fireworks and countdowns, a softer light rises from a quiet corner of Istanbul, a glow that doesn't beg for attention yet refuses to be ignored. Tonight, we trace the heartbeat of the pair who once ignited the screen and still hold a devoted public in their spell. Hazal Subaşı and Erkan Meriç. For months, the air was thick with uncertainty. Headlines hinted at cold silences, fans whispered about separate lives, and every absence took on the weight of a declaration. Yet what unfolded in the last hours has become more than rumor or rebuttal, it feels like a deliberate manifesto. Before we explore the intimate images that have seized social media feeds and reshaped the conversation, I invite you, with genuine gratitude, to be part of this space. If you appreciate interpretation that respects the truth and the human texture behind the fame, subscribe to Whispers of Turkish Stars. Tap the notification bell so that the pulse of the industry never skips your screen. And if you want to be a cornerstone of this community and unlock exclusive segments, press the join button now. Your membership is the oxygen that lets us pursue the depth others overlook. A hush, then, because we're stepping into Hazal and Erkan's sanctuary. New Year's Eve is often a carnival of spectacle, but for these two the threshold of 2026 unfolded like a prayer. The photos they released, not in a frenzied media blast, but in a measured, unmistakable gesture, reveal a transformation in how they wish to be seen. Gone are hotel ballrooms, crowded dance floors, and press-friendly gowns. In their place, the textured quiet of a real home. Minimalist lines. A small New Year's tree dressed with deliberate care, every ornament chosen as if it carried memory. Warm lights washing corners with the sort of calm that doesn't need a caption. And a stillness that argues against any tale of rupture. Hazal's glows without heavy makeup or calculated angles. Erkan, unhurried, wears the kind of contentment you can't stage. These frames don't look like a campaign or a publicist's brainstorm. They read as candid snapshots from two people who painstakingly rebuilt a center that the spotlight tries to steal. For the Whispers of Turkish Stars family, that distinction matters. Genuine love rarely declares itself with a megaphone. It speaks softly and lets the world lean in. In recent weeks, the gossip machine fed on absence. There were claims that their connection had cooled, that the alchemy that once lit up screens had been consumed by the pressure of expectation. But the answer we've received is as elegant as it is firm: silence. While crisis statements ricochet across the feeds of so many, Hazal and Erkan chose reflection over noise. Here at Whispers of Turkish Stars, we read that choice as a sign of growth. They are not performers arguing their case in the court of public opinion, they are partners who understand that privacy is the air a relationship must breathe when fame tries to suffocate it. Those close to the actress say this quiet New Year's was born of a pact, a promise to shield what they cherish from the constant glare. Erkan, in a gesture that feels simultaneously old-fashioned and modern, made room for her calm, adjusting schedules, stalling appearances, carving out a space where the two of them could actually hear one another. It is, in many ways, the most persuasive rebuttal to predictions of a break. Not a speech. Not a tweet. A choice. Let's pause in this story, heavy with meaning, and speak directly. Whispers of Turkish Stars family. Do you feel that restraint and simplicity still carry power in a culture of instant statements? Or do you believe public figures owe transparency to their followers when whispers grow loud? And which other Turkish couple would you like us to explore with this same depth? Tell us in the comments. Your observations shape our next investigations. If you value this kind of nuanced reading, tap like. And if you want to fund independent voices that look beyond surface-level buzz, the join button is your personal key to the unseen. By joining, you guarantee we can keep producing the quality you come here for. Back to the room where everything changed. Something in Hazal has shifted in recent months, and those who know her best describe it as crossing an unseen threshold. The numbers, likes, mentions, rankings no longer define the day. She has been doing a deliberate emotional housecleaning, ruthless with what drains her, protective of what steadies her. This quiet, purposeful New Year's was no accident, it's the visible edge of a decision not to allow the tabloids to script her private hours. And in the hush of that decision, her bond with Erkan appears to have tightened, as if the quiet itself became a language they both understand. Picture it. Two dinner plates, steam rising from a meal prepared without flourish, a playlist that barely lifts above conversation, and the unhurried companionship of people who refuse to perform for an audience they didn't invite. Erkan, despite a calendar stuffed with obligations, chose to anchor, not drift. He stepped lightly around the delicate architecture they've built, careful not to jostle anything that keeps them balanced. We applaud that here, not from a place of worship, but from the simple knowledge that maturity is rarely glamorous, and nearly always brave. The industry noticed. Accustomed to blow-ups, public reconciliations, exclusives parceling out updates like chapters in a drama, they saw two people release a handful of honest images and nothing else, and understood that the rules had changed. No sit-down interview to swat away rumors. No long thread dissecting the past. Just presence. Just a pair at peace with the choice not to address every whisper. To the eyes it whispers of Turkish stars, this is both inadvertent branding and genuine conviction. By refusing to fan the fire, they redirected oxygen to something else entirely, the work, the life, the love itself. And so the tone online shifted. Skeptical comments ceded space to respect. People wrote that this, here, is what a grown relationship looks like, not perfect, not performative, just real. These homebound vignettes, precisely because they lack drama, cut deeper than any glossy promotional rollout. In an era delirious with exposure, authenticity feels rarer than diamonds, and more luminous. Study those final photographs again and it becomes clear they're not stitching something torn. They're marking, quietly, the solidity they fought to preserve. Look at the way they share the frame, no one overshadowing, no one shrinking. The glances that pass between them carry both ease and intention, as if they've mapped a route that lets them walk together without losing their individual stride. Whispered talk suggests that as 2026 unfolds, Hazal has resolved to choose projects that respect the boundaries she's built, protecting her time instead of donating it to chaos. Erkan, buoyed by steadiness, seems primed to face his own artistic mountains with a kind of grounded courage that only comes from feeling at home. The message travels without press releases, they are a team, and the stage lights are not their compass. In deciding how to greet the year, they wrote a small manifesto, they will set the terms. However it might disappoint those who crave fireworks, they picked the quieter blaze, the one that lasts. Before we travel any further, a thank you. You made Whispers of Turkish Stars the place to come for careful, elegant readings of celebrity lives. If you haven't stepped into our member circle yet, you're missing analysis we reserve solely for those who keep our independence strong. Click join to get exclusive badges, to steer upcoming topics, and to sustain the integrity we owe you. It's not just membership, it is the spine of our work. As we close this New Year's Chronicle, the takeaway is hard to dispute. Hazal Subaşı and Erkan Meriç have quieted the storm. They didn't sign a public contract for love. They renewed a private vow in the low light of a shared home. Their decision to welcome 2026 in a way that is understated yet profound functions as a gift to themselves and to admirers who prefer truth over spectacle. At Whispers of Turkish Stars, we'll watch every detail, the small signals, the gentle gestures, the purposeful silences, and we'll bring them to you with care. May the new year deliver them the peace they so clearly prioritized. If this story nudged you to think about guarding what matters in your own life, like the video, share it with those who have rooted for Hazal and Erkan, and subscribe for more of the narratives that matter. And one last invitation, consider joining our members family by tapping join. Your support is the flame that keeps Whispers of Turkish Stars alight, a constant in a world that changes by the hour. Until the next exclusive, always here, on your channel. Still, there is one more layer, one you might have missed at first glance, and it deserves its space. The way the table was set, two mismatched cups that spoke of habit rather than staging, hinted that the evening wasn't performance but ritual. The framed photo on the shelf, slightly tilted, uncorrected for the camera, suggested their minds were on one another rather than optics. A book left open, spine down, a sweater draped over the chair he clearly uses most. Everything spoke of life lived, not curated. These are the tiny truths that convince us more than proclamations ever could. Talk to those who've worked with them, and you hear a recurring phrase, restraint. Not the restraint of suppression, but the restraint of knowing you don't need to collect every glance or chase every shout. That kind of quiet confidence can be misread as distance by restless eyes, and yet it's precisely what holds the story together. When the noise swelled, they didn't get louder, they got clearer. When the timeline beckoned, they posted less. When the world wanted answers, they looked at one another, and then at the door, and chose to close it gently. People will speculate about timelines, about old wounds, about decisions made and unmade. They always do. What those New Year's images declare is simpler and harder, not an erasure of the past, but a frame for a future. They aren't pretending storms never hit. They're telling us they built a roof that holds. You can see it in the ease of their posture and the unhurried way they move through the space. You can feel it in the warmth that lingers even after the last light in the photos fades from your phone. And if you're still wondering whether silence and simplicity can outlast the rumor cycle, watch what follows. Work will speak. Choices will align. You'll notice fewer battles fought for attention, and more attention spent on what they love. It is a recalibration, not a retreat. It is two people rewriting the terms of engagement, choosing to be the authors of their own narrative. We'll be here, steady as ever, translating that story with the care it deserves, grateful that you've trusted us to do it. Subscribe. Ring the bell. And if the spirit moves you, join. With your help, Whispers of Turkish Stars will keep listening for the truths that live just underneath the glitter, waiting for a softer kind of light to reveal them. Here's to 2026, to the quiet that protects, and to the love that doesn't need to shout to be heard.